Hey guys, this is my third episode in the Push to the Top 1000 series, and right now we're sitting around 5,400 trophies. I'm a little more than halfway through league day right now, and we've taken 4 attacks. None of them have been 3 stars yet, which is very good. And remember, you are able to get this base through the link in the comments that I'm sharing down below. And throughout this series, I will be sharing all of the bases I'm using, so if you see a base holding up well, you will be able to use it. For the army I'm using, again, I am using that Root Rider army as it's the most powerful army in the game right now. But other than that, I'm just going to hop right into the attacks. Alright, so the first thing I notice here is that it's a double rage base. So this is going to be pretty easy to RC charge into. So what I'm going to want to do is send in my RC here. And also remember, never send your main army to the direction of the fire spitters. So that's going to be a key thing to think about when you're sending in your RC. I'll show you what I mean about that in a second. But when you're taking out a rage spell base, it's going to be very easy to get like maximum value as soon as you can get into that rage compartment, because so many of the high damage defenses are around it. Like right here, for an example, you can see that there is the Merge Tower, Archer Tower, and then the Inferno Tower. So I can get really good value. Alright, I'm going to send in all my army into this opposite side, or the middle of the base, and my Queen and Siege Barracks go on the opposite side on that side of the base. Use some of those cleanup troops just to make sure all my troops get funneled into the base. Perfect. And then I think I'm going to use the Overgrowth on this, on the Rage spell Rage spell that was already activated. I think that's going to get really good value. Perfect. Alright, use some cleanup on the outside. King. Warden ability has been entering all this damage. That's very good value for both their abilities. Can go ahead and throw in some extra cleanup. You know, this base looks pretty crushing right now. Just throw in another rage. Freeze all these heroes. Perfect. Yeah. This was a really good attack. I mean, I find rage spell bases to be like one of the easiest to attack, just because of like that they're only activated once you actually attack that compartment. So if you send in your RC, you can take it out right away. Alright. So it looks like this person doesn't even have their temporary defense set yet. But the first thing I see now is it's a double rage base again. This is going to probably be very easy. And I see that both fire spitters are facing to the left. So I think if I can set in my RC right here, I could set a pretty easy funnel into the base and hopefully get a very easy 3-star. Alright, just make sure, remember, send in that RC to the rage spell compartment. You're going to get really good value for your RC dive. I don't really need to get that fire spitter down, but it would be a positive if I could. But I'm not planning on having my army be facing into it at any time in this attack. Yeah, we're getting this entire compartment down, which is going to be very good value. Probably activate RC ability right now too. Perfect. Yeah, we should, once that goes down. Looks like RC goes down. Yeah, RC, alright. That's not too great, but I'll have to work with it. Sending Queen, Siege Barracks, sending that, and then main army up top. Alright, well that's not too good. I didn't really see that RC was getting that low, but I'll have to make do with it. Let me go ahead and freeze that monolith. It's not too good to see it hitting my queen. Alright, good, it gets distracted. As I move in here, I'm going to just overgrowth that, King ability. Good, perfect. Take down all those high damage defenses. And before any of those rage defenses even hit my troops, they don't take any damage from it. That's perfect. And it looks like this backhand on the overgrowth should be easy to take out with the queen. Yep. Send the rest of those. And this should be a pretty easy 3-star, even with the mistake that I made at the beginning with the RC going down. I easily took down this base. But that's also, not just because of the strength of the army, but it's also because this person did have a pretty weak base, as it is so closely put together, and that's what Root Riders do really good against, the very tightly knit bases. But let me go on to the next attack now. Alright, so we're here in the third attack. First thing I see is that it's a hook tower base. Now, it's in the center of the base, so it may be hard to counter. It just depends on how well our army paths into the base. Again, we have a rage spell base, so this should be relatively easy to take down. I'm going to go in with the RC right here. Alright, so a little trapped, but, it's not too bad. I should be able to path very easily into the base, though, unless there's more Teslas that pull me out. Doesn't seem like there is, though, so I should have an easy time. Yeah, I'm going to get very good value because it is a rage spell base, so I have all these high damage defenses. Looks like we hit that. Alright, that's all good. Yeah, hitting a lot of traps here. I'm just going to activate RC ability out of those invisibility spells. Perfect. Alright, get some decent value from that. Very good. Yeah, my queen should have an easy time pushing through all that. Send in the main army. And then send him some cleanup troops just to make sure my army funnels in very easily. Perfect. Now I can send in the rest of the army. I'm just going to go ahead and freeze that. Perfect. Activate Warden ability, just to make sure all my troops stay alive. Now that rage compartment pops, perfect. And I'm going to just use King ability, take out all these defenses, and I'm going to move towards the town hall now. Use some cleanup troops in that back end, and I'm going to wait for this overgrowth to deactivate so I can use that rage spell to get as much value as I can. I think now is going to be a good time. It seems like it's about to pop. Perfect. Oh, alright, good. My army's starting to move in. Yeah, that minion prince is always a little tough for this army. He does do a lot of damage because of the lack of air targeting troops, but he ends up not being able to save the defense for this, and it's a very easy 3-star. So now into the next attack. Alright, so now into this second attack. This base does look better than all the other ones we've faced so far, but it should be a pretty straightforward attack. Just setting my RC into that corner, and then she should set an easy funnel for the rest of the army. Yeah, basically every single base you're going to see in the current meta is going to have this basic, very simple attack plan with Root Riders. You just want to send your RC into one of the corners of the base, and then the army is basically going to just be sent into the middle of the funnel, with their queen being sent on the opposite corner that you sent your RC into. Right, well, that's perfect. I'm going to just grab her now. Great. And then everything for the funnel is going to be sent up here. Just need to wait to activate that giant arrow now. Alright, that's perfect. Sending a troop to funnel. Now the rest of the army is going to be sent in. Alright, it's looking a little scary for the queen. I'm going to go ahead and make her invisible for a second, just so she can get her health a little higher up. Now I'm going to send in everything, make sure I have everything put in. Alright, queen is very low now. I'm going to go ahead and activate warden ability. I'm about to enter a high damage area. I'm going to make sure that poison tower doesn't activate on my army yet. Activate king ability as I enter in all this high defense area. And I do have my rage spells. I'm going to send one in now. Space should be pretty crushed. Yeah, I'm going to just make sure I don't have anything on the back end that's going to keep me from 3-starring. Go ahead and freeze all that. Perfect. And I still have RC ability. So I'm going to just drop a rage spell here. I think I'm going to activate RC ability now. Yeah, this is very crushed base. Yeah, riders, I mean, every single attack, it's just the same straightforward plan. So it's, I'll say it's hard to mess up, but you know, it does happen time to time if you get trapped for with things like a good placed, like hidden Tesla trap or tornado trap that moves you out of the compartment you want to go into. But right now at low legends, this just easily wipes through. Alright, so I see that this is a hook tower base. It doesn't seem like we can get the king inside with the king dive. So instead I think I'm going to send in my RC on this compartment, then try and reroute her back into it and see how much of that I can take out. I also see that this hook tower is pretty low level, so I am able to take it out with a giant arrow, which would be perfect. Alright, so let's hope I can... Alright, it's going really well right now. Hope we can keep it up. Go ahead and just pick her back up right away. Alright. I think queen in this corner, yeah. And perfect, we take out that hook tower. It's exactly the value we needed. And now sending main army up here. Should be able to get really good value. I'm going to just use that. And hopefully everything starts moving in. I'm going to just use that. Alright, this is, it's looking alright. Oh, now it's looking even better. Now that all my army is moving in together. That's exactly what I needed. I'm going to go ahead and use warden ability as we enter in this high damage area. Alright. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, once king moves in a little further, now would be a great time. Perfect. Take out all this damage. And I'm going to go ahead and freeze that. And then clean up troops, and we should have a very easy 3-star. Yeah, this attack was nearly perfect. The only thing I probably could have done better was that RC charge. But I mean, I really got like lucky with the RC moving onto the minion prince because it kept her so close to the invisibility tower. So it was kind of like a 50-50, whether it was good or bad. But on to the next attack now. Okay, so as soon as I get into this attack, I do notice it's a hook tower base, and I can get great value with the king dive. It's also a double rage spell base, so this should be a very easy base to take out. The first thing I'm going to do is send in my RC from this bottom. She should start moving and making her way up the base. I'm going to send in the king now, and he should get grabbed in a second or two. Perfect. Yeah, that's great value for a king dive. And I have a really good setup for my main army to be sent in now. Go ahead and grab that before the giant bomb goes off. Perfect. Alright, this is looking very good so far. I'm going to just wait for those minions to make their way over to my queen. And then I'm going to send in the main army. Now. Perfect. Alright. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm going to go ahead and overgrowth all that. I can send in all that. And then I'm going to activate Warden ability now as we head into this high damage area. Alright. This is looking pretty good. It's getting a little concerning with the amount that my army's splitting up, but hopefully I will be able to recover it. Alright, it's starting to turn around. Getting a little scary now. Alright, this is looking like it is a possible fail, which is not great. Hopefully it is possible I could do a little RC dive on the back end and take out a major portion of these defenses. Alright. Alright, this is looking I was able to recover this attack, which is pretty surprising. I really thought this was going to be a fail, but I did cut it a little close. I think if I executed my RC dive a little better, this would have been a much easier attack, but can only move on now. So next attack now. Alright, so I do see that this is a hook tower base. It's very possible for me to do a king dive. I just have to make sure I execute it properly. And it is a poison invisibility tower base. This should be a pretty easy one to take down, so hopefully I can do it very well. Alright, send that in there. Alright, I'm going to use a little bit of cleanup troops just to prepare myself for that king dive. Now I'm going to send the king in. Alright, well, I forgot about that RC. It's not too good, but I can still recover this attack. It's too focused on that king. Perfect. And now, I think sending in queen. Yeah, that's great. Then I'm just going to make sure she starts moving her way into the base. All of the army. Overgrowth all this. Yep, and now everything should start moving into the base. This is looking pretty good. Unfortunate that I did make that dumb mistake and I lost the RC very early on. Alright, well that's not good that the army started splitting up. I'm going to go ahead and activate Warden ability. Alright, perfect. We get that down before the invisibility builds itself back up again. I'm going to go ahead and make everything invisible in the center. Again, just try and keep everything alive. Use some cleanup troops on the back end. Alright, this is looking like it did get recovered a little. Still don't know for sure yet, but it is looking much better than what it did when I first lost the RC. I think once I get into this next high damage area, I'm going to make everything invisible now. Perfect. Yep, this is looking like it's going to 3-star. But I mean, that just shows how powerful a king dive can be, because it was able to take out a large area in the core of the base. So it basically supplemented what the RC charge would have done, but it just shows that with an RC charge, it would have been a much more powerful and straightforward attack. So yeah, and we do swag a recall spell. Alright, into the next attack now. Okay, now I'm on to the final attack. And this base does look like it's pretty good. So like the last attack, it's going to be pretty standard RC charge into one of the corners. Now, the higher up you go, you are probably going to see more poison spell towers like we see on this base. So it's going to basically be the same thing as a rage tower. You're just going to want to try and take out one of those compartments. That's not good. It looks like my Spirit Fox goes down. But you know, this attack is still recoverable. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. You basically want to try and take out one of those spell towers. Now I'm going to get that down really easily on this base. Perfect. I was hoping to maybe get that. Alright, I do get it down. Alright, yeah, I was about to say I did want to get that Fire Spitter down, because that's great value for an RC dive. Alright, now I can send in the rest of the army. And yeah, some cleanup troops in the bottom. Alright, and then once my troops start moving in, I'm going to send in that RC. Just use an overgrowth here. Perfect. Warden ability. Keeping everything alive now. I'm going to have to use some cleanup on the back end just so I make sure all my troops move in. Use that king ability. He takes out all these major defenses, which is great. Hopefully my troops can... Perfect. Yep, they start moving in. And I need that overgrowth. Perfect. Perfect timing. Now that queen should hopefully start taking out that Inferno Tower. If she can get that down, that's going to be all I need her. Yep. Alright, yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. And she even gets down that scatter shot. Yep. This base was crushed very easily. And this base is going to be one of the bases you're going to probably see within the next few days in this series, as it's the type of style you're going to see at higher legends. So I feel like this is a very good base to end off on today. Yeah, this attack definitely slowed down on the back end, but you know, 3-star is a 3-star, and it doesn't really matter how powerful the ending is, as long as you get to the 3-star at the end of the day. And this is going to bring us to a plus 320 day now. So I'm going to be ending at 5689, which is 40 trophies higher than my main account, which is very good. So that'll be it for today. And hopefully we can have a League day just as good tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can find another base to use for the next few days, because I used this one on my main account yesterday and it didn't really hold up well. So I'm going to be, of course, sharing that down in the comments below. And then I will, of course, share the next one tomorrow. So that is it, and see ya.